me a message that I make it. So as I like to just keep everyone in the loop, we record it. So let's kick off. So, okay, sorry, because it's the first one, Cesar, normally I have a presentation, but 1 week of the month, we have no presentation, which is quite nice actually. And funny enough, last night's conference I was on, they had one presentation and the rest was just chatting. So it was quite amazing just to connect again. So just quickly to introduce Cesar to my Lifeline Learning. As I briefly met Cesar actually through Kim, and Cesar does amazing stuff with NeoLife, and it's like, yeah, like it was amazing. Like I was talking about weight loss, and then the conversation of my clothing, my washing powder for my clothing came up. Yeah, how's that? And drinking out of a tin. Did you ever think about what's in that tin? Didn't think about that. So please, Cesar's actually a BNI member as well. So even just to have just a really insightful one-to-one, I would really suggest it. She's got some amazing tips. I bought my children a Lipton iced tea on the weekend, and I looked at it with a different insight, and was like, okay, I actually need to drink out of a plastic bottle and not a tin. So yeah, Cesar, you definitely have made an impact in my life, and we are going to be looking at that washing powder because I do need to lose weight, and I'm definitely convinced it's that. Because I've told her, Cesar, I've tried everything, and she's like, well, you need to change your lifestyle, and that includes some of the products and the toxins in your environment. So yeah, anyway, so that was amazing. So just thanks for that to Cesar. So just to welcome you to this program. It's a weekly meet. We meet for an hour from 10 to 11 normally. We finish up at 11 sharp. And yeah, and basically it's a session of, as a lot of people have said, golden nuggets, and I think that's what it is. And even last night I learned again, don't overwhelm people. People are coming to you with a problem. Don't let them leave with more issues and more things to do. So every week we learn like one very key learning. And I focus it around market, message, and media. So we'll always look at the market. What are things that you can do, how you can get to know your audience better, messaging, how to identify messaging, how to use messaging, how to build emails, and then media, what media to use, you know, should we be on Facebook, videography, what are the things that we can use. So it's just general discussions. And then we leave our last week of the month to just an open discussion, which is today. And today is just you bring your real marketing struggles, and then we just chat through, and it's very interactive. People can give their experiences as well. So that's generally the flow of events. And yeah, if you have any questions at any stage, you are welcome to join us, as today I don't have a presentation. And today we're just going to be talking. So who wants to kick off?
Well, I have a question.
Cool, go.
So it's not so much, you know, a struggle, but it is a question, you know, like with the online posting and stuff like that. So I watched Global Leadership Summit last week, and also amazing nuggets come out of Global Leadership Summit. And I, you know, was obviously thinking about my content plan, which I will still show you, you know, like on a different platform. But I was thinking there's something that Craig Rochelle, for example, said that is really relevant to in a toxic environment, asking a question of management. So in my video or my clip that I want to do, I want to reference that. So of course, you know, like you write a little story as well. Would you, you know, like, because I'll reference Craig Rochelle, but do you suggest that I actually tag him? Or is it just saying that this is from Global Leadership Talk, Craig Rochelle? Or do you tag the Global Leadership Summit and the Craig Rochelle in the body of it? Or for example, I mean, like Simon Sinek also, you know, like I use a lot of his work. So things like that. I just don't know if tagging is necessary or suggested, or whether you just reference them.
No, I mean, are you talking specifically in a post or in a video?
Yeah, so the video, I'll talk about it, but then, you know, like when you have your little description, you know, like, or so LinkedIn, you have that, and then Instagram, for example, you have where you write about the story. So there, would you tag them in the story, or would you just mention them?
I would probably just mention them. just as long as you're giving credit, if it's something that so I also often will talk about somebody who said something, but I don't just necessarily tag them unless it's somebody at my level, perhaps. So if it's something I learned from someone within our community, then I would tag them for extra credibility for them and visibility. But like a Simon Sinek, I wouldn't just typically tag him in one of my posts, although he probably wouldn't mind. But I wouldn't do it. But that's your.
I think it's different when, like with the Global Leadership Summit, because I'm so busy with the replay where, like I'm posting about the Global Leadership Summit and what they say is a bit different to me doing my work and then mentioning them and post and tagging them. Okay, cool. I also.
That summit looked very interesting. I want to hear more about it.
It is the best. Global Leadership Summit, the best leadership content in the world.
Okay, awesome. And how long was it?
Well, normally it's 2 days, but they only did like 1 day, and they're doing a business one now on the 28th, and then they have another 1 day on the 4th of November where you can get online. Like it's online at the moment. They did have physical locations, but the one I went to in Rustenburg was 2 days, and I won tickets to the American one last year, which was amazing. And that was also 2 days. So it's lots of content, but good.
Okay, well, do you want to give us the link in the chat? If anyone wants to go check it out, then they can go and check it out.
Let me just get the right one. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing.
Cool. Kim.
Megan, I just had this thought. I'd love your take on this. When you've created a website maybe 10 years ago and you've had that professional picture done and it's just the picture, everyone loves it and it works. And maybe you've done a whole lot of videos as well that are very professional videos, but maybe they were done 3-4 years ago. So I look at many sites and, someone's got their profile picture, which may have been taken when they were in their 20s, 30s, 40s, but now they're in their 60s, but it's the picture that works. Does that detract an old profile, an old video? Does it detract from the credibility of the current person? The current, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean. No, not at all. I mean, if your photo is professional, I mean, it was quite interesting. I'll tell you quickly about it. We went down to Baisley 2 weeks ago, and it was quite interesting. We met the estate agent, and we obviously saw his picture online, and when we saw him, we were like, oh my gosh, he's much older than his picture. And then when he took his mask off, he had no teeth left. I was like, oh my gosh, I think he's happy that there's masks now. So I think, to be honest with you, I think just be like, so his to me was that they're in a bit of an extreme.
Extreme, yeah.
So it's almost like when I connected with him, I immediately associated that image in my mind with what I visually saw. But like, I mean, I see it all the time, actually. It's so funny. Even now with Zoom and seeing people face to face, you see them on Zoom and then you actually see them face to face, and it's different. Like, people are shorter, taller, fatter, thinner, we maybe got more wrinkles, but the lighting and kind of hides it. So we look different. So I don't think it detracts. And quite frankly, I think it's nice. Like, so even for me, for example, my profile picture is my short blonde hair everywhere, and I'm probably not going to change it soon. And I actually want to grow my hair, by the way. And already I've thought to myself, oh, shucks, but now my image I've created, it's on all my touch points, is short blonde hair. Now people are going to talk to me and I'm going to have like short long hair. And it's like, so what? Short long hair, blonde long hair.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's my most important thing is rather have the consistent photo than having the photo of now and then. So rather just kind of keep it the same.
Megan, I appreciate that, and I won't hog this space, but because you've made me think of Pink. You always make me think of Pink, the singer. I mean, she's amazing. That girl is amazing. If you go and watch interviews, she's really a progressive, but she's solid. She's ethical. She's got integrity. I love her. Now, her when she started out, she dyed her hair pink. She was always pink. but her hair's now like a light brown at the moment. But we still know her as Pink,
Exactly.
you know? So yeah, I get that. Thank you. By the way, you remind me of her.
And you know what's so funny? I heard a song this morning, Cover Me in
Wow.
Sunshine.
Yeah, oh, I love that song.
Yeah,
Love that song.
I heard it this morning. I was like, oh, I needed that this morning. Maybe we'll play it at the end, okay, as a send-off song because some of us need a bit of positive energy.
Sunshine.
And we need sunshine.
Megan.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys in Durban, but we have weather.
That's contributing to the mood as well as this crappy weather.
Yeah. Okay, let's hear some more. Dr. Cesar, don't you want to talk to us? Because I know you indicated you still finding your way, but is there something you maybe want to check in?
I will. I just want to be conscious of Pranita's hand.
Sorry, I forgot. Pranita, your hand is up, but yes. I missed it. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I just wanted to tell Yolanda, the ones I shared, there's the startup in the US called Devon Reed. I think they have this company called Gong, and it's one of the big startups in the US. And I shared his post, and next thing I know, Devon Reed is commenting on my post, and I was like, what? So that was kind of cool. So sometimes these things happen where they like come and comment on your post, which is quite nice. I mean, they have millions of followers and you're just like one person, so it doesn't matter, but it was still nice. And I barely had any followers at that point on LinkedIn, so it didn't matter at all. But yeah, sometimes we get comments, so that's quite nice. So tag and whatever.
Yeah, I did make a note where I'm like, I'm not going to tag them in general, but if there's something that could also benefit them, like in one of my posts, because I'm completely going to collaborate with Simon. So so I might tag them.
Yeah. So Megan, I'm doing this course currently. We am piloting with a couple of fellow BNI members. It's like what did I call it? So I need to work on the name also because the name is not great. It's like finance basics for entrepreneurs, basics of business finance for entrepreneurs. So next year I want to do, after I come back from maternity leave, because there's no maternity leave, it's just like leave. So after I come back, I want to, do the course properly, and I want your opinion on, setting out a marketing strategy for this course specifically. So I was thinking, Facebook ads, and then followed by webinar, and then followed by, some sort of sign up process. I don't know. I'm not too sure about it, where your Facebook ads, ads to, should I put in like some email stuff for like engagements, just to show value, and the Facebook ad would be a video, or how would I go about putting together a proper strategy for this course?
Okay, so Pranita, my first question would be, who's your target market for that? Would it be small business owners?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's two ways of doing it. So you can do a live event to get people to come. So basically, if you want to host a free webinar to get people onto your program. So that's what they call live events. And then the other option is to do the kind of evergreen nurture campaign stuff. So with your current database you already have, you start communicating with them minimum 6 weeks in advance that this is coming up. Obviously, we need to talk about how we're going to structure that, because we obviously want to position them as this is how they feel, this is your solution, this is what your course is going to give them, and so they should sign up. Perhaps you can have a early bird sign up if there's maybe an option for them to sign on earlier than later. Or then you could have, in that 6 weeks, you could push people via advertising to sign up for the free webinar, or live event. And then at the webinar, you then upsell them to the program. And if you said it's a combination of people, you could have obviously those people at the webinar, and it could be like a Q&A, and you could maybe just do some kind of learning at the webinar. So those are the two kind of options you have as the main event to get people into your program. So it's either driving people to the live webinar to launch it and then sell tickets at the end to the program, or then don't worry about the webinar and driving people to the program, to your booking page. Okay, so those are the two options. But the step before that then, so that I would say would be your first option, is to decide, do you want to do the live webinar, or do you just want to do campaigns to drive sales? Those are your two options. But then the before that will apply to both. Okay. Yeah. And then obviously the main thing is, who's your audience? Okay. What is the problem that they have? What is your messaging for your campaign? Okay, so what is your like golden thread? What is the theme of your event or your program? And then from that, you can start developing a video, which you can use on social media. You can create a landing page very specific to the program with the video embedded. You can have then on the website, you know, as one of your programs. You can have it on Facebook. If you want to advertise on Facebook, you could advertise it on Facebook. So it just depends where your audience is sitting, and as well as which one you want to do. Do you want to drive them to the free webinar just to get leads? Because sometimes the live events work nicely because you get nice leads. Even if they don't attend your webinar, you still have their details, which you can then start putting them into your nurture campaign to drive them to the program. And or then on the other side, obviously you're driving them to a paid event, which I remember I always say to you, people are not just going to click on a landing page to sign up for a program. So just think about what are the little things that they can get along the way to build up that trust and credibility with you. That's why I'm more of a fan of the engagements than pushing them onto an event, especially if it's, I suppose it depends also on your network. How many people are you doing it with? You know, how many people do they have connections with? You know, how large is their network? I mean, maybe just between yourselves, your network is 50 people, and that's where you can start, you know. So just, and then again, it also comes down to budget. Because, I mean, to advertise on LinkedIn is not an option for most of us. It's just too expensive. Facebook advertising, it does work. But again, I just personally find Facebook advertising gives us a lot of riff. And to sift through that riff, I don't know if it's worth it. Unless you've got like 5,000 Rand, you know, to sift through that riff, it might be worth getting that 20% and then keeping the 80% of the good stuff. But because the budgets that I personally can afford on Facebook, it just doesn't justify, but it does work for some people. I think it also depends on your offering. You know, is it something everyone needs? Maybe you just kind of do a BNI strategy. Maybe you just focus on visiting all the BNI chapters and positioning it, because that's where small business owners are sitting. So yeah, I think your main thing is start with what is your message, what is the overall objective of your program, and then decide, do you want to drive them to the kind of live event, or do you want to drive them to the program? And then you can start unpacking some of those things, how much budget, where we're going to do it.
Okay. Yeah, I think webinar will be good, because I always think about my own personal preference, that I want to see this person talk live about the program before I actually sign up for it, because you can't make a decision from just a video or something that you see on a landing page. So I'm really looking at it from my own perspective, but I think I'm going to go that direction.
Yeah, and it depends, I guess, who you're collaborating with, because if, like I say, if they've already got a big following and they've already got quite a lot of customers, or depending where they're at, that can also determine what you're going to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Megan, can I quickly add something?
Yeah.
Something for, let's say, the positive part, real life story. You know, and I'm sure you'll agree, but we just don't think about these things. Start where you already have a following. For example, I was putting on one of my client attraction workshops, and I went to a new BNI chapter. This is a true story, Pranita. And I didn't even think about it. I didn't go there to advertise it, but I just mentioned that my next course was starting next week. That morning, I got 6 new clients. And that was just from BNI. So it's like, start where you already have, like, you've got, you know, you've got a footing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's something that somebody told me a while ago. You know, they ventured into this. Look, I don't agree that BNI can be your only strategy. Like, I learned that again last night. But yes, don't forget that BNI is a strategy on its own as well. So just depending on the solution, and because your target market is BNI members, really, it's not a bad place to start. And because you and your team are BNI members, you have your network, and as Kim said, your people are ready. So don't forget about that. Thanks, Kim. Okay. Dr. Eseza, do you want to, was that all, Pranita?
Yeah.
Okay, I hope that helps. Otherwise, we can chat about it again. But yeah, I think the main thing is just to think about how. Okay. And then the whys. Okay.
Okay. A question, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Marketing, message, and media. Okay, I need help with all of them, basically, because my line of work is so geared to individuals, and it also requires a level of confidentiality. So I've been wondering with myself, how can I hold events? Because thus far I've been limited to one-to-one interactions. And that it would be lovely to have events so that I gain traction as regards getting clients. But anyway, that is my conundrum that I'm dealing with. So marketing, I've been trying my best to market on Facebook and on my website to some extent. And I'm disenchanted with Facebook, but I shouldn't say that. But anyway, but I carry on. And then the message to me remains the same. I mean, yeah, everybody has seen the effects of lockdown. Everybody's stressed out, all that. So I've got no shortage of messages that I can draw on, but it's the media and how to do it. So do you, Megan, and everybody else, do you do it yourself, DIY, or do you get people to help you with the social media management? So I've put out there quite a few things, but yeah.
Perfect, yeah. Okay, so I think just going kind of back to your first part is, I think, so not that this is a moment to promote what I do, but what I do is I help my clients identify market message media. Then you can outsource your social if you wanted to, because I don't think it's always a bad thing if it's in your budget. But what often happens is people in BNI will go straight to social without having asked the market message media question, and then they start, as I say, they start pushing their features out there. They don't have clarity, so they're just kind of putting out a whole lot of stuff and also feeling a bit confused as to, so typically, shucks, what am I going to post today? Shucks, I have to post on Facebook today. Let me talk about this. Okay. That's not what we want. And also we don't want to give our profiles to social media implementers without a plan, because all they're going to do, and I can tell you that's what they do, they'll go to your website and they'll extract content from your website and they'll create post from your website, which I'm sorry to say, 80% of websites are brochure sites anyway. So actually, you're just wasting money. So that point of call is, if your website and your social media all become just brochure, then I say your social media, there's no strategy, then it just becomes text on social and a tick in your box to say, I've got 3 posts this week, I've done my job. Then I say you're wasting your time, then don't waste that money. However, if you do the process and you do the market and you do the message and you do the media, then you are equipped and you know what your website needs to do and say, and you know what your social media needs to do and say, if it even is the right platform for your audience. Then you could at that stage outsource it, because there are a number of people in BNI that can do it at a really reasonable rate. But having given them that plan, then I can vouch, then that's the right way to do it. But don't, without having clarified the market message media, go to a social media expert in your BNI chapter or surrounds and ask them to do your posts for you, because then you're not going to get traction, you're not going to get the right engagement, possibly from the right audience. And so that's the route that I would say is the right way. Whether to outsource or not, it comes down to a cost and a time factor. That's why we have the likes of a Tanya that can also help with like certain aspects of our businesses. And or then you have an expert social person or whatever. I hate to call them experts, because nowadays everyone is an expert, but social media people that can do it for you at, as I said, a fractional price. But don't expect them to make the content, because that's where the issue comes in, I think. So I think the big question for you is, and I think followed on from what we chatted about, is I think you needing that market message media, because you said some of the topics are quite sensitive. So getting to those group sessions, I personally don't feel that some of those group sessions would be, let's just say, inappropriate or embarrassing for some people. When you know what you're doing and how you're going to do it, you're going to put those topics out there. People are going to make a choice to come. You could even have like a program, however you're going to do it, and you could have different topics at different times, and then people can decide to come into that specific topic. So whatever it's about, whether it's weight, whether it's about obesity in children, whether it's about me physically, no energy, my husband, emotions, whatever, all those things. I think the reality is we all know, we're all experiencing it. People just don't like to, they don't want to tell everybody. Let's just put it that way. We don't like to announce it. But I think the reality is, if you've got the right messaging and you're targeting the right person, then that person will come. We even spoke about it again last night. If you are emailing people and they're not coming to you, it's okay, because maybe they are just not your person. Or if you're emailing people and they opt out, that's okay. Don't get upset about it. That was a big thing last night. Don't get upset about people unsubscribing and opting out of your email campaigns. It doesn't mean that you're sending horrid, well, I hope you're not. I know Tanya sends valuable stuff. But yeah, obviously that's a whole nother discussion. But if you know you're sending valuable information, but people are opting out, it's not because of you at all. We actually spoke about it even yesterday in our BNI meeting. People, and Kim probably knows more about this, is that if people are in a negative frame mindset, or in a negative frame, they're going to project it onto you naturally. So they could have just had a bad day and they got an email and they deleted it or whatever. So often I just say, if you've gone through the process and you've clarified who's your market, what the message is, you're going to attract the right people, and those people will make that decision to attend that live event. Because I understand that you want to do one-on-ones, which is maybe your strategy. Like that was another thing we spoke about last night. It was amazing. I had so many things. So we spoke, I'll tell you quickly. We spoke about VIP days. I've never heard of VIP days. So something I've never really investigated. So a VIP day is you charge a 4-digit number for 6 to 8 hours of a session, 6 to 8 hour session. So it's basically a day session, but they get almost a 3 to 4 week month learning. So that's what they do in America. It's quite a big thing at the moment. They're called VIP days. So one lady only does VIP days. That's all she does, because she can charge 5,000 Rand, well, $5,000 she charges, $5,000 for a VIP day, because she gets the client they are just fed up, they are done, they want the solution now, and they will pay, and they will come and sit with you for 6 to 8 hours online or face-to-face, and they will get the solution in those 6 to 8 hours. So like she said, one day she developed a website with a client there. One day she came up with a full strategy there with him. So it just depends what the client's needs are. So that is something. Then we have our courses. So like we all do, we've got some courses and mostly group sessions. So that's very common. And then there was one lady that only does one-on-one coaching. She only does one-on-one coaching. And then one lady was like, yeah, but how do you manage one-on-one coaching? Because then you limit your return, because now you can't do a group, you do one-on-one. Well, guess what, guys? She charges her price for one-on-one. So it justifies. That's all it is. So again, maybe group sessions aren't even your solution. Perhaps through your journey, you realize that you want to do one-on-ones with maybe a very specific problem. Through your research, you identify that weight loss is a very big factor, and maybe that becomes your niche, and that becomes something you focus on, and it's a one-on-one. So that's why I say you need to take that journey to get to the end, because often we just want to jump to the end with a solution, and I know we always want to and we have to, and sometimes we do waste time and money, whereas we can just rather take the time. If you've got a bit of time, just dig in, see what it is, and maybe get to that one very specific thing that you want to focus on. And that can then unpack and say, okay, this could be, that could be, because there are so many options out there. And another thing I learned last night again is how many of these course creators have created stuff and gone to market with it and failed and failed. The one lady actually said she's done 30 programs that have failed. Sure. So don't worry about it. We go through the process. As long as I say we've done our homework and we've done our thing, and we know that there's a purpose and the reason what we're doing, and we package it properly and we take it to market, and then it fails, well, then we go back again. Okay, so failure is part of the success process. So that's what I would say, Cesar. I hope that helps you, and I hope it doesn't overwhelm you, because I'm not supposed to be overwhelming people.
No,
you've just got so much to share, Megan.
I know, I just get so passionate, and that's why, yeah, it was just like, I'm just too passionate. I think I have to have a radio show, and I must just talk all day, and then I'll be happy. And then I don't have to work with emails. Oh my gosh. I think
solution, Megan, solution.
I think I know what I'm going to be. I'm going to be a radio spokesperson, talk show. Yeah. Here we go. Marketing Lifeline. Let's phone in. What's your problem? Oh my gosh. Here we go. Writing it down.
Podcasts, Megan, podcasts.
I tell you,
come on. You have your marketing expert in your ear.
Just, I tell you, I don't want to see emails in my life again. And I don't actually want to see a laptop. So maybe I could just do it via the phone. I'm sorry, guys.
I must say, my interactions with Kim have helped me out tremendously. The client attraction, if all of you haven't yet done it, this is an ad for Kim. Please do it. I've done it a couple of times, and yeah, it's always worth one.
Thanks, Dr. Cesar. The last one for the year, the last intake is starting on the 8th of November. It's the last one for the year if you're interested.
And those of us who've been on it before can dip in.
Yeah, you have lifetime access. Absolutely, always, Dr. Cesar.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that
Okay,
has
so-
helped. And so Megan, I'm looking forward to learning more about what you do and how you can put me on the world map.
I can do that. I was in
Yes.
America last night. You could have come with me and you would have been on the world map already. Hi. Yeah, no, the Americans are something else. They've got so many, and I don't know what part of the world I know. I know it was Eastern, but everyone was like, y'all okay, y'all doing all right, y'all carrying on. And I'm like,
Sounds like a South
That
Southern
sounds like
accent.
Texas.
Yeah.
it sounded like Southern, but yeah, I was
Mm.
like, I wonder where I am, because some of them had their names, like Canada, the other lady was Ohio or something. So I thought it was Eastern. But then yeah, I didn't think New Yorkers do that. So I was like, okay, interesting. Maybe it could have been Canada. Y'all. I don't
Did
know.
they say process or process? Because like Canadians say process, like we do, and
Oh,
Americans say process.
All I
I
know is
got that
that
a lot when I was there. They're like process. I'm like, what is process?
price. I know all they went is niche. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's niche. I was like, oh. But Joe, I was asking all the questions. Sorry, what is a VIP day? And then the other question, there was something else that came up. But okay, let's have another question. And then I just want to quickly give you some key learnings from, what is our time? We've got like 5 minutes. So let's have, if we've got another question, Yolanda, you got your hand up.
Yeah, I just actually want to add to what you were just talking about, because I think this is an ad for Megan. Her business boost, and I believe this will help you, Dr. Issa, as well, is that I have my passion, I have my calling, I know exactly where I'm going, but what the business booster helped me to do is package it in a structure. And it's only, the business booster is only 2 weeks, and you get your homework and you get your like all those kind of things and templates. And I am busy still with my content plan, so you walk through the whole process and you come up with a content plan and an idea of what like your messaging. I was even able to go deeper in my
Oops, sorry.
how I will position myself in the messages. So it really is, like it really is something that I feel where you are now, because you are transitioning into your passion, that is something that could help you. And then also, I just wanted to also ask that I would love to connect with you, because I was in a really bad toxic environment, and that's also what's giving me the authority to speak into it. But it is so physical, and it is now 8 months later, and I'm only now feeling great. And I realized that infections that I dealt with on a monthly basis are gone. And I reached out to one of my other friends that worked with, her eye infection is gone. She had a chronic eye infection and now it's gone. So I would love to connect with you, because I feel that there's maybe even in that where, like we can guide maybe people in toxic environments, what's the best health, their physical health as well. So I'd love to do that.
Yeah, I would love to connect with you too, Yolanda, because after I left the toxic environment of hospitals, it's the sickest place you can go, a hospital. But anyway, all my weight fell off. I used to be pretty overweight. Actually, there was a time I was labeled obese, I'm sure. And all the arthritis started going away. And so it that affects the physical, definitely. And our teaching is backwards as medical doctors. And now I can stand out here and tell them that you're doing something wrong, guys. But doctors are held on such a high pedestal that I've been attacked for attacking them. And I just have to be bold. So yes, Yolanda, let's team up.
Change the world, is my saying.
Okay.
Dr. Cesar, my cousin is doing something very similar, but hers is like with mental health. So
Yeah.
she's a neurologist and she's teaching brain health and all of that. So I can see doctors are like turning against their own profession, one person at a time.
They are getting flack for it, but they are. It's amazing.
She's also doing, something with brain health, because I think the way we treat our brain and everything actually contributes to Alzheimer's and all these other diseases. Whereas if you just treated your brain properly, like meditation, eating, reduce your stress and everything, you can actually reduce Alzheimer's. And it's like fascinating. So
Absolutely.
that's very cool what you're doing. Yeah.
And you need the time to do that. You need to actually have had
Mm.
the opportunity to stand away and look in and say, what's with
What
that
are they doing?
situation? What are
Yeah,
they doing?
yeah.
And how come I'm part of it, you know? Yeah. So,
Okay,
Well,
before we, sorry,
just
Panita.
one quickly. So what she did was she emails HR people at corporates, and she just asked if she can give a 1 hour talk on brain health and whatever. And she got a couple of gigs like that. It was free, of course, but I guess you get your foot in the door that way. So you can start offering them packages and stuff if that's interesting to you.
yeah, yeah.
Cool. Before we go off, I just want, I mean, like I said, I learned so much last night, and I had so much also, I had clarification, certification, communication. It was just really for me as well, just to realize that, what I'm putting out there to you guys as well is also, as I told you, and I told them last night and they loved it. They're like, so what brings you here? And I'm like, learn, earn. So they were like, oh, we love that, Megan. I was like, okay, cool. That's my new one. So it's learn, earn, because we have to keep learning to earn money, right? So, and as I will tell them, I'm an expert in my field, but, that was 20 years ago. Times have changed. So I also continually learn and get updates, and so I can bring you some new things. So just 6 key things to let you go off today and maybe have some homework. This is what they call the 6 systems for 6-figure offers, right? Because we're all going to do 6 or 7 figures. One lady last night had a 7-figure business. And honestly, when I looked at her, you go for it, Yolanda, that's it. When I looked at this woman with a 7-figure business, I was like, no ways, I can't. No, you know how you judge people and you're like, no, I can't. 2 young kids running around, had the one in her arm eventually. She's just got divorced. I was just like, oh my gosh, I take my hat. You listen quickly to the story. She went on leave for a month, left her business to the owner, not the owner, the manager of the business. She doesn't even run the business. She actually has put somebody in the business that runs her business for her now. Yeah, it's like crazy stuff.
That's the ideal.
Yeah, so
that's the ideal. You can go on holiday and your business runs.
Yeah, she's slated to ask for leave though, but anyway. Okay, so 6 things. The circle of why. Okay, what am I not willing to sacrifice? And what is our why? Remember, it's always about why are we here? What do we want to achieve? What is our purpose? And then we need to write that. What am I not willing to sacrifice? So we don't land up working 60-hour weeks. Okay, so we do get to that 20-hour weeks, because that's what we all want, right? Having our own business. Otherwise, we could all go back to corporate. So she said, start with the circle of why. And I think that resonates to Kim as well. So everybody, if you don't have that, what is your why? What is your purpose? And remember to write down whatever I'm not willing to sacrifice. Number 2, what are the 3 things you can do today to move you closer to your goals? It's all about courage. Okay. What are the 3 things you can do today to move you closer to your goals? Cesar, I think you know what yours are. Number 1. Okay. Even if it is putting a vision board down, or identifying your why, or phoning somebody that you've been putting off. Okay. So courage. Okay. Number 3, slow, sustainable growth. Okay. Don't expect our businesses to grow overnight. She actually did an exercise, which I haven't done. So when your business launched, put in what your total revenue was to today. Maybe look at your graph. Maybe your graph has gone up gradually and you think you're still a failure, but actually you actually have made more money. So see how your graph has grown. If it hasn't grown, that's also okay. Slow, sustainable growth is key. And that's where the whole evergreen nurture funnels thing comes in. We just slowly got to keep communicating to our potential customers, and they will slowly come in. Okay, passive-led diversity. Basically, you've got 2 solutions. So you've got the organic growth, as we know, we speak about. So we've got our website, we've got our podcasts, we've got our social media, we've got our BNR meetings. Those are all the kind of organic things. And then every now and then we've got to spice it up. We've got to put in the flame with some paid stuff. So some paid advertising, some live events. Okay, we've got to go in and we've got to spice up the consistency, right? Consistency is so important, and that's what I harp on. But that is the organic growth to get our visibility out there. But every now and then we need to throw in some gasoline, and we've got to do some stuff out of our comfort zone, like creating videos, going on live interviews, okay, doing all those awesome things. Number 5, meet your customer where they are, okay, and serve is first. Always serve first. So exactly like I say, and that's guaranteed again. What are you getting to get their attention? What are you giving them to get their attention? Okay, so is it some free content or lead magnets? How are you getting people's attention to attract them? Are you nurturing them through your email opt-in? So are you consistently engaging with them? And then are we going to convert them? So as they say, you're either going to give them a call to action, or you're going to do a video that they're just going to fall in love with, or you're going to tell them they need to come onto your program. And then we need to consistently provide them this free content to keep them engaged. Okay. And then lastly, number 6 was support. Like Cesar said, if you need support, ask for help. Okay. If you need IT help, ask for it. They may not give it to you, but ask it, and then change your provider. Okay. Outsource. If you can't manage writing blogs and you know blogging is good, and I'll tell you again, blogging is good, blogging is good, blogging is good. I'm going to try and do 4 blogs a month. That's how good blogs are. If you can't write 4 blogs a month, outsource it. Okay, as long as you give them the message. So I thought I'd just share those 6 tips with you guys, and hopefully that will help you too, because it was quite interesting. And again, even if it's just a reminder, this week is the most important thing for us, is we just have to be reminded of the things that we're doing, and we're doing them right. So don't be despondent. Have an awesome week, ladies, and then I will see you next week.
Thanks, Megan. That was wonderful. Thank you.